Proud of the heathen we overcome. Fighting this war to the midst of done. I hear the words of your mouth. Let's see how you sound without a tongue. Let's see how you breathe without a lung. You can clearly see a mouth of blood. I can't forget. It's deep down, I gotta hold a grudge. So, it's time for the battle. For the blasphemy of the bastards. Let me get at them. No more talking, it's action. Brothers, pat me my sword. It's time for this lion to roar. He pointed his finger at the temple of my God. Then it's all with his arm. Yeah, it is all with his head. I want the city painted red. With the blood of an Edomite. Let his kids see him dead. Memorialize this day. Let's go. So they can know just what he said. This destruction of the Cain. And I can't think of nothing greater.
Go and kill every defiant Israelite in the land of Judea.
With pleasure.
Off with his arm, off with his head, off with his lights, I'ma put him to bed. You heard what he said, he wanted us dead, so I'm taking his tongue and I'm making him beg. And give me that shoulder, cause I'm rolling with warrior soldiers. He the eagle, but we see a vulture. And a virus, we curing the culture. Gotta kill it at the source, like a heathen off his horse. Light his ass up, human torch. Didn't wanna do it, but I'm forced to burn it all down to the scorch. See in the end, from the beginning, I came for the cuss, but I stay for the skin. And see blood in his mouth and the sight got me grinning. We wetting him up, make him look like a gremlin. Better come correct, check your demeanor. We'll hang up your head like it's straight from the cleaners. I pray for the nation, I saw my redeemer. I call it a vision, cause I ain't a dreamer. Glory to my God, he the number one. Swinging for the fences. Then I treat his throat like a home run. Ain't no fear for these demons. Remember the law and the prophets. Our victory from the Almighty. Better know that they never could stop it. We break limbs loose like chains. If he think he can get out of pocket. The sons of the thunder electrified. Time to let him die when you're plugging the socket. Watch this.
It's time for the battle. For the blasphemy of the bastards. Let me get at them. No more talking, it's action. Brothers, pat me my sword. It's time for this lion to roar. He pointed his finger at the temple of my God. Then it's all with his arm. Yeah, it is all with his head. I want the city painted red. With the blood of an Edomite. Let his kids see him dead. Memorialize this day. Let's go. So they can know just what he said. This destruction of the Cain. And I can't think of nothing greater.
Cut him to Cain. Don't get in my way when I fill up with anger. Dash him to pieces. I got power with God, you know you in danger. You see the savior, shot like a taser, red on my soul like a painter. Buddy gon' brush him, armies gon' rush him. When my two hands I can crush
To
him.
all those that oppose, stock of the rock, the Almighty chose. Iron rod, gon' govern the globe. We the elect, no need for a vote. They gathered against me, they making some moats. I call him my God and he bringing the smoke. Ships come out the water, they don't even float. Ships spinning with fire, it's murder she wrote.
I'm trying to watch the enemy turn into smoke. I'm trying to dash the youth on the stone and watch the boy turn to a ghost.
Buddy, you know how this go. The breath of the dragon and backfire. We turn him to stubble, we stoke. Clean swing, knock his head off.
Broad day, knock the edge off. Putting your V formation to flight. This is like,
Aight, more death, more life. You pressed, we tight.
we blessed. We done been through hell and you next. That's righteous, we glory. If it ain't bleeding, I'm bored. It'll probably get gory on sight.
It's time for the battle. For the blasphemy of the bastards. Let me get at them. No more talking, it's action. Brothers, pat me my sword. It's time for this lion to roar. He pointed his finger at the temple of my God. Then it's all with his arm. Yeah, it is all with his head. I want the city painted red. With the blood of an Edomite. Let his kids see him dead. Memorialize this day. Let's go. So they can know just what he said. This destruction of the Cain. And I can't think of nothing greater. Go.
Destruction. I think you know what you're saying, cuz what's good? Fever. You have to come out. With the whole thing, dash that, run out, the whole thing, ball out. Lick on lick up your head top clean like a roll with a scripture like machine. Professor walking full of it. Brought man's neck like a Kit Kat junkie. Crack that Humpty Dumpty. With a truth and forward. Hey boy, it's peak when they say them come out and make my ear do the dashing. Hey Nick, don't come back, your boy. Your head's on the pole, not idiot boy. Like, who are you to blaspheme, my God? Yeah, run out your mouth, yeah, chat too much. And you got packed in like a school pack clutch. You got packed in like a school pack lunch. Man really out there daily, but I talk about punch. I roll around with a flyer. I'm Judah, but I flow Benji. Man, switch it out, don't test me. Man, switch it out, don't test me. Big and black like Hesky. That a gente fala muito pouco faz. Realidade. He's a demon in disguise. Like Joshua 1 and 8 be my daily fry. Chaque jour empêché la vérité. Chaque jour empêché la vérité. Tout m'a mérité. Dieu regarde toutes choses. Et tu peux pas cacher. Les blancs m'énervent. Un jour on va casser la tête. Parce qu'il m'embête. Et les fait souffrir ma peuple. Chapitre 28, 19. It's Israel, don't fall off. Aces back with the ball. Keep the commandment fall. Keep the commandment, I'm fall. Like nobody knows it tomorrow. Nobody knows it tomorrow. Keep the commandment and follow. Everybody, yeah, but forward. Ivan, yeah, we come out. Be the whole thing, dash that run out, the whole thing ball out. Nickel and lick up your head top clean like a roll with a scripture like machine. Professor walking full of it. Brought man's neck like a Kit Kat junkie. Crack that Humpty Dumpties. Where they shoot them forward.
No sé para mañana, todavía hay algo que go harder. Israelita no dominicana, todos los días sigue la ley. Every day we singing Yahweh, Joshua 1 and 8 in my brain. Siempre, my brain. Lady time in my brain. Siempre, my brain. Lady time.
Christ to the king said we push him, push it. Whoosh. Four corners cry loud. Done a lot stop burn up the beat like the burning bush. Prophets about Cain, talk about kush. Spiritual bangers man coming like mush. I cat more burn up the thing like dupa. Scripture back and wide like panda. Verb like I'm like Mufasa. Headlock in the script like Jama. You never got that mama like I thought ducking somebody lost it. This is the work of the bro. If it's wanna know when you expect it, just trust me when the goes in more script. Like when you want bang man box it. Israel on the rise, no stopping. With the creme to the creme, you're the creme to the dead. Spiritually lift us quest. This is the prophecy, this ain't monopoly. No coulda man woulda. Christ is the king, but listen to him. Gonna need more than Jim. Spiritual warfare, spiritual salsa, spiritual warfare. Trust in the Lord, spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual warfare.
No sé para mañana, todavía hay algo que go harder. Israelita no dominicana, todos los días sigue la ley. Every day we singing Yahweh, Joshua 1 and 8 in my brain. Siempre, my brain. Lady time in my brain. Siempre, my brain. Lady time.
The book, my code, my life. For the truth, I'll slip and slime. Cap more, let's go, let's ride. Prophets all up in my line. I sown that seed, spiritual. John 6:3, spiritual. Cut down, sing the umbilical. Cut down, sing the umbilical. We ain't got time for beefing over corners. You know what I'm saying? Worldwide, bro. You know what I'm saying? Jump on the bandwagon or get left, fam. Yeah?
My brain, my brain. Todos los días sigue la ley, todos los días sigue la ley. My brain.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a rap, man.
Been making violence, killing brothers, switching riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the prophet's here, so boy, you better. You've been making violence, killing brothers, switching riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the prophet's here, so boy, you better. Cause the prophet's here now. You better. Hey, bring that out. Cause the prophet's here now. See hanging on the corner, see hanging on the streets. Some other on the phone, someday you never see. I got that Bible on me, don't need no gun. You got them questions, I get it like everyone. Looking like I come from war, even when I come in peace. 3 times I prayed to the Lord, 3 times I turn to these. Pop out to the club, sipping on that cup. Everything you do, I done did and I gave it up. You've been making violence, killing brothers, switching riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the prophet's here, so boy, you better. You've been making violence, killing brothers, switching riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the prophet's here, so boy, you better. Cause the prophet's here now.
You better man up and bring that out.
Cause the prophet's here now.
Man up.
You've been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs upon the corners, but the prophet's here, so boy, you better. You've been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs upon the corners, but the prophet's here, so boy, you better man up. Cause the prophet's here now.
You better man up and bring that out.
Cause the prophet's here now.
So you think you a man, cause you pushing them drugs, while I'm taking care of my family and showing them love. And you thinking you high, well I'm thinking you not, cause what really makes you a man is keeping the laws of God. Wait a minute, let me tell the truth. Life and death is set before you, what you gon' do? And if you wanna get them demons from up on you, and I suggest you start repenting, man.
You've been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs upon the corners, but the prophet's here, so
boy, you better.
You've been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs upon the corners, but the prophet's here, so cause the prophet's here now.
Prophet's here, yeah. You better man up.
Prophet's here
We
now.
the saviors of them.
Hey, shalom Israel, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless, Most High in Christ bless. So welcome back to another segment of Man Up Monday. Today's class, well, my name is Captain Joel, and my reader for today is
Officer Shatiel.
all praise to the Most High. Hey, so today's class is a man well-traveled and fake friends. Fake friends as well as the Cain effect and Judas effect. Through experience, you learn in its truth who is real and who's not real. And you learn that by the spirit of discernment. Can you get that? Let's start at Romans chapter 12, verse 2. The spirit of discernment, after a period of time, will give you the ability to be able to see people for what they really are and who they truly are. Because people that you grew up with all your life, you might say, you know what? That's my boy. That's my best friend. You really can't tell if somebody's your best friend or if that's your friend, in fact, if it can't be measured by the Bible, if it can't be discerned by the Bible. Remember, the Bible is the greatest discerner. The Bible is the greatest revealer. Read Romans chapter 12, verse 2.
The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
So we can't be conformed to this world. We can't be conformed and follow their politics. We can't be conformed and follow their religious assemblies, their holidays, going back into the parties, the club life, smoking weed, crack, cocaine, get high, get drugged, or drunk. We can't conform and follow the course of this world. Read.
But be ye transformed.
But we have to be transformed. We have to change our ways. We have to change our way of thinking. We also have to change our circle, our friendship. Read.
By the renewing of your mind.
By the renewing of our mind. We have to change and renew our mind. We can't be the same person that we were in the world. We can't be the same gullible people or the people say, you know what? Everybody, Jesus loves everybody. I love everybody. I want to be friends with everybody. No. That's not biblical. That's not Bible. Read on.
That ye may prove.
That we may what?
Prove.
That we may prove, read.
What is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
That we may prove what is that good and acceptable, perfect will of God. So this whole truth is about discernment. This whole truth is about proving one another. Seeing a person for what they actually are based upon their actions, their deeds, their conversation, their talking points, the way they communicate, their attributes. All these things must be measured by the word of God. Remember, give me that in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. And that's why we tell you, brothers and sisters, make sure you're studying. You're not studying because for a good feeling ceremony or prosperity doctrine. No, you're studying for survival. How to survive this world. How to survive amongst your circle. How to survive amongst people. What to look for in the people. Okay, when is it time to leave? Based upon a person's conversation, you say, oh no, this person's up to no good. I can tell based upon their facial expression. I could tell based upon certain key points made within a conversation, certain key words. Cops could discern. They could tell if somebody's lying. The Bible gives us the ability to discern whether somebody's lying, their facial expressions. We say, oh, look at that. I caught that. Look at the eye one to the left. They're lying. Brother, why are you calling me this? Why are you calling me over here? Like Nehemiah was able to discern. But Sanballat, I believe, when they try to get him, or they try to set him up, Nehemiah knew that they was trying to set him up. Why? Because he used wisdom to guide him. Read.
Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged. You have to ask yourself a question. Why is it that IUIC is number 3 on the hate group list nationally, categorized by the SPLC, when we have not committed any violent crimes, any violent act? We have yet to burn, or we have not burned a cross on anybody's front lawn. You might have an individual might have done something based upon their sin, but you have not really seen any type of violent act come before IUIC. Oh, neither do we teach it. So just in case somebody does get stupid, if an individual commits a violent act or violent crime, that's outside of what we teach. We don't teach that. We teach if it be possible to be at peace for all men. So any sin that's without the body, that person, anybody that sin is without the body. That person, that falls on that individual. And what they try to do most often is they try to pin one person's choices on us. Like, for example, when you had the incident that happened in 2018 in Europe, they say based upon that individual's actions, we're going to blame the whole organization. So if you're going to blame that, don't stop there. Anybody that commits adultery, you have to blame the whole organization, even though we teach thou shalt not commit adultery. So anybody that commits adultery or fornication, you have to blame the whole organization for their adultery, even though we taught them not to commit adultery. If somebody decides that if they want to steal, don't just stop there. You got to blame the whole organization for somebody outside of the school that decided that they wanted to steal on their own. Blame the whole organization. So if somebody beats their wife, even though we teach our men not to touch the woman, you got to blame the whole organization. Don't stop there. Anything that any act or any individual does, tax evasion, drunk driving, don't just blame for one crime. You got to blame for everything. If you want to keep going if you want to go that route, if you want to blame one sin, that shows you they know the ignorance and the stupidity of our people, and they play in our people's ignorance. They say, oh, they're going to believe us. Oh, we got to use the power of the media. But read that again.
For the word of God is quick and powerful.
That's why we're the number one threat. Negro unity, Israelite unity, black men rising up and proclaiming their nationality. What makes them afraid of us is not so much the individual, it's the word that lies within us, the power of God given to us. Read it again.
For the word of God is quick.
It's quick.
And powerful.
And powerful. More powerful than a thermonuclear weapon. We're the number one most dangerous threat in America. Not these people that shoot up the schools. Not these terrorists that come and infiltrate the country, but black unity. Read.
And sharper than any two-edged sword.
Because it cuts you. When people walk by, they don't know us. But based upon the word we bring out, it cuts them to the soul. Read on.
Piercing, even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
It pierces your soul and spirit. Read on.
And of the joints and marrow.
Read.
And is a discerner.
Is a what?
Discerner.
Uh-huh.
Of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
The Bible is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. We could tell an individual's intentions, their thoughts, what they're thinking. What is the reasoning behind? That's why Solomon said he understood the reasoning of men. The Bible gives us the ability or psychology to understand the reasoning of man. We're psychologists. We could base upon your facial expression, based upon your answers, based upon your conduct. We can tell what type of person you are. Give me that real quick with The Walking Dead, the clip with The Walking Dead. We can determine what type of man or woman you are based upon you being real. We say, oh, that person's not real. Oh, that person's fake. We could tell that. Yeah, pull that up. And get me John chapter 2. Is that it on that scripture? Yep. Play that.
Shane? Shane? I was thinking, you got that nice new ride of yours. Plenty of fuel. More than enough for you to get far from here.
What'd you tell me to leave?
I know you've been planning to. Maybe now is a good time.
Is this about Andrea?
I'm looking out for the group.
You think the group would be better off without me, Dale? Did you tell that to Rick or Lori? That boy would be dead if I hadn't put my ass on the line.
And notices. Now, you've been vague about that night, about what happened.
Otis died a hero.
So you've said.
A little boy lived because of what went down that night. I think you ought to show some gratitude.
I wasn't there.
No, man, you weren't.
But I was the time that you raised your gun on Rick. You had him in your sights, and you held him there. I know what kind of man you are.
You think I'd shoot Rick? That is my best friend. That's a man that I love. I love him like he's my brother. You think that's the kind of man I am?
That's right.
Well, maybe we ought to just think that through. Say I'm the kind of man gun down his own best friend. What you think I'd do to some guy that I don't even like when he starts throwing accusations my way? What you think?
He says, I know what type of man you are based upon your actions. He pointed a gun at Rick. And he thought nobody saw him. We could tell based upon certain people's action, that's a red flag. We know what type of man you are based upon the wisdom given to us, the wisdom to be able to discern what type of man or woman a person is based upon the actions. Read that again.
And is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
The Bible gives us the wisdom to discern the thoughts and the intents of the heart of man. We call that psychology. Solomon will talk about that. Get me that in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, start of verse 17.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements.
So Solomon was given certain wisdom and knowledge. Now jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20. The natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, and the reasonings of men.
And the reasonings of men, the intent, the thought, the psychology of man. Why would a man or woman, why would it conduct themselves with certain actions or partake in certain actions? What will allow a person to betray his own friend? The psychology of man. We understand the thought process of a man's thinking. Why does he make the decisions that he makes? Why does he think the way he thinks? The Bible is a discerner of thoughts and the intents of men as well as women. Give me John chapter 2, verse 25. There's certain spirits within an individual that will cause somebody to be reactionary, to make a decision that is not productive, a decision that is not beneficial, a decision that is not beneficial to the opposite party or to a friend, a decision that is selfish based upon a person's wants and needs, and they're willing to step over another individual or betray their own friend. Go on.
John chapter 2, verse 25. And needed not.
Start at verse 23.
Verse 23. Now when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover, in the feast day, many believed in his name when they saw the miracles which he did. But Jesus did not commit himself unto them.
Why? Go on.
Because he knew all men.
Because Christ says people, just like they do to us, they came in, hey, I love your teaching. I love your class. Oh, you're an excellent teacher. And these are the same people that will betray you. Read that part again.
But Jesus did not commit himself unto them.
Even though they knew that this was the Son of God. This was the Son of God. All the miracles that he performed, they gave him kudos. They gave him compliments. Everybody wants to be around Christ. But what did Christ do?
Because he knew, but Jesus did not commit himself unto them.
He did not commit himself unto everybody at the Passover. You see thousands of people. Don't think about it. All those people, we don't really know people. That's what the scripture says, try the spirit if they be of God. If we haven't really met you, a lot of people open doors through flattery. They try to open doors into your circle by using flattery, not knowing what agenda an individual has. That's why the scripture says, prove a friend. Read that again.
But Jesus did not commit himself unto them.
Christ did not commit himself unto all those people at the Passover. Read.
Because he knew all men.
He knew the intent and the thoughts, the reasoning of men. Everybody has their own agenda. You have to understand a person. You got to get me that Sirach chapter 6. You got to understand, what is this person angle? What are their needs? What are their wants? Are they sincere or are they looking for something? Do they have an agenda? Are they opportunists? Are they trying to get in your circle in order to vindicate them from a crime? Are they trying to use you for power? Are they power hungry? Do they got the spirit of vainglory on them? Do they have the spirit of envy on them? Do they conversate with you? Do they compliment you? Do they converse with you through the scriptures? You could tell the intent and thought of a person by trying them. Read that.
Sirach chapter 6, verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
The Bible says, if you get a friend, prove that individual first. Don't be hasty to credit somebody. Oh, because they gave you a good word. They complimented you about how good your teaching is. And those are to be the same ones that betray you. You know how many people in 2018 complimented us? Shoot, even my own personal experience, I have friends that betray me in this truth. Or even during our trip or travels to India, we had brothers that betrayed us. Brothers that we try to build up. We try to form a relationship with. Brothers that will smile in your face and stab you right behind you. Go on.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
Prove that person first. Proving takes time. It takes trial. You going through it with that person. Based upon your changes, your life changes, how that individual reacts within certain changes within your life. How they react if you're brought down low. So there's different, I'll say, conditions that have to be met, whether or not that person's your friend or not. Go on.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Don't be hasty to credit anybody. Everybody has to be proven. They got to be proven through your trials. They got to be proven through their own personal trials, their congregational trials. How are they when they're broke? How they deal with money? How are they with their spouse? How are they with the brothers? Are they sincere? How are they in their work life? Listen to a person's conversation, and you'll know the intent of the person. What is the need of that individual? Go to 1 John chapter 4. Try the spirit.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit.
That's why it says, don't be hasty to credit everyone. Believe not every spirit. We tell you, brothers and sisters, in the proving process, you really don't know the person that you're talking to. Everybody shows their representative. Everybody is trying to show the best version of themselves. And Deacon Malachi says it all the time. The realest people and the one that he respects the most, or the person that's really down for the cause, is the ones the one that's been through the most, and the ones that's the most honest. Read on.
Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God.
But try the spirits, whether they are of God. Sometimes we might say something to you, see, okay, how does he react? Is he reactionary? Based upon his reaction, I can tell if I'm put in a certain scenario, how he's going to react at that moment. Now, I'm not saying that people could change, but you got to try the spirit to see what is within the person. And the Lord got to put things in perspective by putting trials in the congregation. Give me that in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 19. And you wonder why the Lord allows heresy to come in the body, so that we could determine what type of man and woman you really are. because everybody on the outside seems to be such. Everybody shows the representative, but it's what is in the inside is what we're looking for. That's why even when we teach on the street, I don't want to see the person on the outside. I want to know who's the real person on the inside. I want to see the soul. I want to see the spirit within that person. I want to speak to the soul of that individual. I want to see what is their trauma. What is some of their life experiences? Not because I want to try to overthrow or destroy that individual. I want to meet the real person. Many of us are covered with a fabricated lie of the persona that we portray to the world. The persona that we portray or the perception we want people to believe what we are. No, I don't want to see that. I want to see the real person so I know who I'm dealing with. Go on.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 19. Mm-hmm. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest.
You see, there must be problems in the congregation. There must be doctrinal heresies. So they that are what?
Approved.
So how can you prove somebody if nothing really happens? The Lord puts people through trials to see so you can determine what type of individual, how do they handle their own personal trials? So that they could do what?
That they which are approved may be made manifest among you.
So they that are approved may be made manifest among you. How can you know an individual if they haven't been through anything? And you could tell, and people think, oh, you pick up. No. We want to see what type of man you truly are. We know, a lot of times, we know what type of man you are. Some of us are coming off the lifestyle of thieves, adulterers, fornicators, murderers, covetous, evil eye, hatred. So why would we allow people in our circle or just accept any person if you come from these different lifestyles? That's why proving takes time. Get me in Genesis chapter 4. Let's go into the topic now. Even though it is a topic, but let's go into my scriptures. Genesis chapter 4, verse 1.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
So the Lord gave clear instructions, what to do and what not to do. The Lord gave instructions both to Cain and Abel. But the two based upon what's inside. That's why Christ says, I know the word is a discerner of the intent and thoughts of men. That's why Christ never committed himself to anyone. Based upon, because when instructions are given to you, you could tell an individual or what a person is based upon his reaction or the decision or choices he made. You might ask yourself a question, why would Cain, after God gave him clear, concise instructions, why would he go outside of the instructions? Why would he go against what God told him to do? He says, listen, I'm going to give you, read it again.
And verse 3, and in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
It was never commanded to give fruit. Why do you think Cain would give fruit? Covetousness. He had a desire of the food. He said, why would I give the best of my livestock, the best of my animals? Because I could have used it, whatever his reason was for, he decided not to give an offering, a firstling of the bullock. Why? Because he wanted it for himself. Go on.
And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock. And
so Abel brought the firstlings of his flock. So we're seeing instructions was given to Cain. Try the spirit by the spirit. See, based upon instructions that's given, what would be the reaction? Like Judas was given instructions. He was given the money bag. And then based upon the instructions given to him, Christ told him what to do, and Judas was a thief. Certain instructions, and be put in certain scenarios, even knowing what's in us to see the decision that we make. And what's in us will manifest externally based upon instructions or scenarios set up. It's different. God, the Lord will set up different scenarios to show you what type of man you are, not only to show you, but to show everybody else what type of individual you are, what's within you. Many times we lie about ourselves. We lie until you're exposed. Go on.
And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
Why? Because Abel was faithful. Abel followed directions. He followed directives. Read.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
Because he was rebellious. God told him what to do, and Cain decided because, you know what, he had an envious spirit. He had a covetous spirit. He decided not to go with the offering. He decided to go against the Lord and gave him fruits rather than giving the firstling of his bullock. Go on.
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth?
Why are you angry? Go on.
And why is thy countenance fallen?
Read.
If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
All you got to do is follow instructions. If you do well, we tell brother A, do B. They decide to do C, and we say, brother, and we reprimand you, write you up in a book, and you get angry or you try to argue us why you shouldn't be written up. Brother, we told you, gave you clear instructions, directives to do. You decided you want to go. Why? Because there's something within you. There's a rebellious spirit within you. Because why you didn't listen? You want to follow your own mind, self-will. You're not about the brotherly love, the brotherhood, or the unity. You got your own self-guided mind. You believe that things should go your way. You can't be governed. You can't be taught. Go on.
And unto thee shall be his desire.
Unto Satan, unto thee shall be his desire. So unto Satan shall be his desire. Go on.
And thou shalt rule over him.
And Satan shall rule over Cain. Go on.
And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
So not only now, we're seeing the spirit, and one of the key elements in terms of a fake friend is the spirit that lies within them. Cain didn't follow a directive. He got reprimanded for that. Abel was accepted. Cain was warned. Rather than say, you know what, let me take this opportunity to be reflective, to meditate, and it's correct my wrongs. He decided to get mad because Abel did the right thing, and he became jealous. He became envious, and he started to develop hatred. And from that hatred, he got mad at Abel. What did Abel do to him? Nothing. Read.
And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother?
Because why? Cain killed Abel for what reason? Because he decided not to follow the Lord, and his envy and jealousy over Abel doing the right thing. Why did he kill Christ? Because he was something that they weren't, and something that they didn't want to change inside. They were comfortable with the person that was within them. You see the movie Juice? What did he kept on doing? Bishop kept on doing. He kept on killing all his friends. Rather than correcting it, he decided because something within him, that hatred, that evil within him, allowed him to keep on killing all his friends one by one. Go on.
And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
And that's what it comes to. Not having that brotherly love for each other. He said, am I not my brother's keeper? Yeah, you are your brother's keeper. But because of covetousness, envy, hatred, evil eye, because his ways didn't please the Lord, he became jealous. He's seen the good attributes in Abel, says rather than not emulating or coveting good works and learning from Abel and applying to himself, he decided, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to betray him. Rather than fixing what's in me, let me get rid of the problem. He's the problem. Because some people don't want to fix what's in them. They get rid of the people that they're supposed to be a reflection of. If I get them out the way, maybe I won't feel this deep-rooted root of envy or hatred within me. Let me just get rid of he's the problem, not me. Let me get rid of him so I don't feel this I don't feel I don't feel bad about not measuring up to what Abel was. I don't feel bad about not measuring up to what Christ is or the disciples. Rather than learn from him, I'd rather kill him. Go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 36.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Your enemies are going to come from within and not from without. We understand that the white man is our enemy. Everybody can see that. But the most dangerous thing or enemy is the unseen enemy. The enemy that smiles in your face. The enemy that you can't see. That's stealth. We can see the evil that Esau's doing. It's blatant. The bombings in the 1920s, the Red Summer, the bombings on Wall Street, Black Wall Street, slavery. The Bible clearly defines them as your enemy, but the most dangerous thing is not being able to see your enemies being your friends. Those that smile in your face. Those that you think that's for your benefits. That's the most dangerous enemy. The enemy that's within. Christ is giving you a warning. Those of your own foes, your enemies, your first enemy is going to be that person in the corner looking at you, staring at you, jealous of you, jealous of the attributes you possess, emulating you, envious of you. Read.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Start at verse 35. Start at verse 34.
Verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
Christ did not come to send peace. He came to set a sword. What does a sword do? It divides. Why? The Bible is going to divide the real from the fake. Your real friends from your fake friends. Go on.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Your enemies are going to come from within. Who killed Christ? Yeah, the Romans killed Christ, but guess who gave Christ up? His own brother. King David. His enemies came from where? His own household. King Saul became an enemy of David. Absalom, his son, became an enemy of David. David's own familiars became an enemy of himself. Jeremiah, his own household, his own friends, watchful as Holton, became an enemy of him. Who killed the prophets? Their own people. It's always those from within. A Judas always comes from within. The ones closest in your circles. Go on. Get me Matthew chapter 24, verse 9.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
And many shall be offended and betray one another. Can you get the word betrayal? Many should be offended and betray one another. Look at just the word betrayal in itself. Christ says a man's foe should be one of his own household. Where does betrayal come from? Does it come from without or from within?
Betrayal. The action of betraying one's country, a group, or a person. Treachery.
The betrayal of the king by his daughter. Disloyalty. Treachery. Let's get some easy.
Yes,
words.
sir. Bad faithlessness. Falseness.
Falseness. Fake friends. False friends. Go on.
Deception.
Deception. Thinking that the brother next to you has your good intent in mind. Go on.
Breach of trust.
Breach of trust. Go on.
Stab in the back.
Stab in the back. Those of your own household stabbing you in the back. Go on.
Judas kiss.
A Judas kiss.
False-heartedness. Double cross. Sellout.
Sellouts. So that's it. So betrayal always comes from within. Notice how it says betrayal is not going to happen on a big scale on the outside. It's going to happen those that you smile with, those that you eat with, those that you laugh with. those that you went to war with, those that you taught with. Betrayal is going to come from within. That's why Christ didn't commit himself with anybody. Christ understood what everybody battled. And Christ told him, no, you're going to betray me. There's one that's betrayed. Christ knew that Judas had a spirit of betrayal, that Judas was covetousness. And guess what? Everybody has the potential to be a Judas if you're emotional, if you're covetous, if you're lustful. Everybody has the potential to become a Judas if you can't discipline those thoughts within you. If you can't suppress those feelings within you, you will eventually be a Judas. Oh, he offended me. Oh, he's against me. He's always picking on me. Somebody like that don't see the good, don't see that you're trying to build somebody up, they will eventually betray you. They can become a Judas because eventually they'll get pissed off. You steer them the wrong way, and they'll betray you. They'll get emotional, and they might betray you. Yeah, they'll build up that hatred in you. Go on.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall...
Ask yourself a question. That betrayal and that hatred is going to come from within. What will make another person hate you? What will make another person give you up? Why? And said, and shall hate one another. If you're teaching the Bible, if you're teaching repentance, if you're teaching somebody to be better or try to better your nation, what would cause a person to hate you and betray you? Envy, covetousness, evil eye. You might have corrected that person. Remember the scriptures talk about a person oftentimes corrected hardeneth his heart. Get that in Proverbs. What would cause a person to betray you or hate you? Maybe it's something that you've done to them that you're unaware of.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy.
Because a person often being reproved. You try to build that person up. You try to make him a better version of himself, but he's taking that for hatred rather than love. Give me that Psalm chapter 141 verse 5. Rather than taking it as correction, as iron sharpeneth iron, because as brothers, we're supposed to build each other up. We're supposed to see, okay, that brother got this fault on this. Let me try, what's the best way can I better that brother? How can I help him improve or grow? If your circle is not constantly trying to improve you, you got to change your circle. Your circle should always be elevating you. Read.
Psalm chapter 141 verse 5. Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness.
Let the righteous smite you, meaning correct you. But some of you are emotional. You can't take correction. Sometimes we might say something that you might not like, but it's for your benefit. We understand. We say certain things sometimes because we know it's going to get under your skin, because you got to develop thick skin. Or sometimes we might pass a judgment, not because we want to, because we know it's going to help you. Sometimes we might scold you because sometimes you're hard-headed. You need scolding. And in order for us to get through that thick skull, we got to deal with you a little bit rougher than the other people. You might think, why is he always getting on me? Why are you always saying this? Some brothers get offended. Why are you always picking on me? Why you always say I'm weak? Why you always say I'm emotional? Because you are weak. Because you are emotional. Because you do got these spirits in you. Do I become your enemies because I tell you the truth? What you got to be aware of is that person that smiles in your face. Get me that when it says in Proverbs, in terms of the secret, a friend. It slipped my mind. Proverbs. Actually, give me Proverbs chapter 18, verse 19.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 19. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city.
You see? A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city. So you said that brother always being reproved. You always get it on that brother because you try to build that nature in the brother. You try to strengthen him, or you might kick somebody out, but not because you want to kick them out. He that hieth hatred with lying lips. I think it's Proverbs 15. Yeah. It's not because you have something against that brother. That brother's looking at you, or that sister looking at you as why they're always getting on me. Why they're always correcting me. Why they're always saying I'm weak. Why they're always saying I'm emotional. Why they always getting on me. It's not because we're trying to destroy you, because we're trying to build that. Just like in the military. Do not they get on you in the military? Do not they come on? Do not they speak in your face? Do not they try to belittle you? They try to break you. Why? Because why? Because you cannot be emotional in heat of battle. You got to be level-headed, and you got to be able to take insult. Because when you go out there in the streets, people are going to say all types of things. You can't be reactionary. You got to be able to control your emotions. You got to be able to take correction. You got that?
Proverbs chapter 10, verse 18. He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool.
Mm-hmm. He that hideth hatred with lying lips. With lying lips. Because a brother, a friend will tell you about yourself. Not because they hate you. The person that you got to worry about is the person that hides his hatred with lying lips. Why? They'll try to appeal to you. They'll try to soup you up. They'll try to cater to, or you have people that say, oh, they're always a yes man. Yes, yes, yes. Everything you do, you might be the most evil person. You might be the most wicked person, but they'll always try to lift you up rather than tell you about yourself. A friend is going to tell you about yourself. A friend's going to correct you. Is that it? Okay. Now let's go back. Where was I before? Mm-hmm.
Psalm chapter 141, verse 5. Mm-hmm. Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness. And let him reprove me. It shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head.
Which shall not break my head. Now get me Proverbs 17, verse 17. Or 29, verse 17. Iron is sharpeneth iron. Proverbs 29, verse 17.
Proverbs chapter 29.
Oh, not 17, sorry. Where's that? Proverbs, iron sharpeneth iron. Where's that? Is that Proverbs 17, verse 17? Where's that? Nope. Yes, 27, 17. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
That's the whole purpose. Just like iron. Iron is a steel weapon. Iron is not something it's heavy. Iron hurts. You ever have iron fall on your feet? It hurts. You ever get hit with iron? It hurts. So what does iron do? Iron's supposed to sharpen iron. Meaning you're supposed to sharpen each other. Iron's supposed to make each other sharp. How? By reproving each other. By dealing with each other. By correcting one another. And we get on each other not because we're trying to destroy a brother. We're trying to make that brother stronger. Make our circle stronger. Make the circle grow. Read on.
Whose iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
So the man sharpeneth the countenance of the friend. Now go back to Matthew chapter 24, verse 10.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 10. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another.
So why would a person be offended? Why would a person betray you? Because of jealousy, envy, often being reproved, ones that's offended by reproof or something that you may have done, or unchecked, or things that brothers or sisters hold their grudges against you. You might have said something, rather that brother go to you, that root of bitterness takes root in you, takes root in them, and rather than come to you, implying Matthew 18, they hold it inside, and they say, you know what, I'm going to get them. Just because they made me feel a certain way, I'm going to get back at them. And they seek the opportunity, and they'll betray you. They'll give you out, they'll sell you out, based upon you might have done. As if the things we do can't be repented or can't be forgiven. As long as you have life, or both of us have life, I didn't kill you, we can work it out. There's nothing that we cannot work out or nothing that we can't talk about. But many times, it's something internally that's troubling you, something internally that you can't overcome, something internally that you're entertaining, something that you might be envious or aware of a person's ability that you might not have, but because you don't want to do the work, you don't want to learn from that person, you don't want to see the good in that individual, you don't want to exhort that person for the gift he has or be a support, you're a one-man team. You're self-centered. You're selfish. You're self-willed. And you're emotional. You're sensual. You're not about the brotherly love or the unity. You're not about endeavoring and fighting to keep that bond together. It's all about you and your selfish desires, your selfish intent. Look at me. I want the power. There's always something behind a person's actions, behind a person's hatred, the jealousy. For what? What is it? Go to Psalm chapter 55, verse 11.
Psalm chapter 55, verse 11. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from her streets.
Mm-hmm.
For it was not an enemy that reproached me.
David says, it's not an enemy. Read it again for verse 10.
Verse 10. Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof. Mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from her streets.
Mm-hmm.
For it was not an enemy
betrayal, deceit and guile, deception, depart not from her streets. Read.
For it was not an enemy that reproached me.
It's not ones that are without. We understand the enemy's agenda and they're playing their role. Why wouldn't the white man or the other nations want to come against us? Why wouldn't they want to destroy what we're building? Because it's against what they builded. The system that they built on top of lies. Why wouldn't they want our system to develop or to overthrow them? You understand what we're teaching? We're teaching the kingdom of God. If you teach the kingdom of God, you understand what you're truly teaching? You understand what you're pushing to the people? That Christ's kingdom is to come? You're teaching that Christ's government is going to topple every other government. Every nation, every race is in a race to be the world's superpower. By us teaching this truth, we're saying that we're the next superpower or global entity to be in rulership. So why would another person or another individual, a race that's outside of your race, why would they allow that? Why would they allow for you to teach the people that you're better than them or that you're going to rule over them? Knowing the judgments that's come for them. Why would they allow that? If I was them, I would do the same thing. I would infiltrate. I would try to overthrow. Why would I want to suffer 1,000 years of slavery? Why would I want my sons and daughters to be locked up and chained and shipped on ships and sold? Why would I want to be? Why would I want that to happen in my race? So what am I going to do? I'm going to try everything within my power to destroy you. So that's what an enemy would do. So it's not those that are without. They automatically by default are going to go against you because this truth is not in their interest. Read on.
For it was not an enemy that reproached me. Then I could have borne it.
It's not an enemy because I could deal with it. I said, you know what? I understand. This whole thing called life is a race for power. I can understand it. I could take it. It's acceptable. It's accepted. I understand why they're coming against us. I understand why they have a hatred for us. But I could have carried it. Read on.
Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me.
It's not him that hated me. It's not the white man that hates me that magnified himself against me. They already have power. They're trying to keep us out of power. They're trying to keep us in the conditions so that they can maintain their power. It is not an enemy. Read that part again.
Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me.
It's not the person that hated me. The other nations that magnified themselves against me. Go on.
Then I would have hid myself from him.
I would have hid myself from him. Because I would have seen it coming. David showing you, if it was my enemy, I could see my enemy coming. If me see my enemy coming, I'll hide myself. I'll say, yo, the enemy's coming. Let's hide myself. But it's never those that's before you. It's always those that are within you. those that are amongst you. Stealth mode. Go on.
But it was thou, a man mine equal.
My what?
Mine equal.
Thou, a man, my equal. My friend. Go on.
My guide.
My what?
Guide.
My guide. Read on.
And mine acquaintance.
And my acquaintance is always your equal. Your guide and your acquaintance that rises up against you. David says, I could have taken it. I could have borne it if it was my enemy. I could have hid myself. But I can't hide myself from something that I cannot see. Something that's not visible to the naked eye. Get me the clip. Get me the Psalm 31 verse 9 now.
Psalm chapter 31 and verse 9. Have mercy upon me, O Lord, for I am in trouble. Mine eye is consumed with grief, yea, my soul and my belly. For my life is spent with grief, and my years with sighing.
And this class is to prepare ourselves for what's going to happen. 2018 was pretty big. It was on a pretty big scale, but it's not as big of a scale that we're going to witness in a future. Remember what's going to happen in the future. Read it again.
This is war!
Have mercy upon me, O Lord, for I am in trouble. Mine eye is consumed with grief, yea, my soul and my belly. For my life is spent with grief.
Our life is not spent with grief right now. We're not in trouble on every side right now. We're talking about a time of trouble that we're all going to experience. For what would cause a person to betray you? What would cause a person to be offended by you? Based upon your conditions, based upon the environment, based upon your circumstances at the time, will allow the true nature of a person to reveal itself. Go on.
And my years with sighing. My strength faileth because of mine iniquity, and my bones are consumed.
Read on.
I was a reproach among all mine enemies,
Read.
but especially among my neighbors.
We're going to be a reproach among all of our enemies, but especially amongst our what?
Neighbors.
That's why it says, one shall betray one another and hate one another and give you up to the council. Your sons, your daughters, a man's foes shall be those of his own household. Your brothers, your sisters. Why? Because they're trying to get something out of it. Who knows the circumstances? When it's a shortage of food, what a person would do in order to feed his belly, in order to satisfy his desires. Or for a person might have got locked up for illegal activity like William O'Neill. You got the clip? You found the clip with William O'Neill? Let's bring it up. What a man would do in order to save himself, but will betray his own brother. Go on. Let's play that.
They cut them out, that are the only remedy.
Come on. You don't got it? Come on, pull it up. Drag it. All right, read it again.
I was a reproach among all mine enemies, but especially among my neighbors, and a fear to mine acquaintance. They that did see me without fled from me.
So it says, and a fear to my acquaintance. Play that.
Hey, relax. It's just us. I know you don't trust me, but it's true.
Why'd you call me here, man? What do you want? Okay.
Take it. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I think you'll be glad you did. They're for a gas station in Maywood. It's yours. spares a lot of money in gas. Consistent money. Legal money. You own your own business now, Bill. You're free. What do you need? You need a drink?
No, I don't need that.
You need a drink? Excuse me. Can we get this man a scotch? So where are things with the party? Any news?
Fred's dead, man. I ain't no goddamn Panther no more.
You sure about that?
It's always those closest to you. It's funny because, like I said, everybody teaches from their own experience. And the Bible doesn't become real until you're actually living it for yourself. We read it, but there's going to come a time in everybody's life, but that the things that we read, we're actually going to witness and see it for ourselves. And we're going to know this Bible's real. Don't think it's called the book of life for a reason. The things that we're reading is to prepare us so when it actually happens, we know how to react. We know how to conduct ourselves. We know how to react. We know how to deal with the other brothers. And think about it. The scriptures talk about to keep your enemies far from you. And those especially, you know what type of spirit that they have. The scripture says, give me 2 Timothy, to separate yourselves from people. And there's going to be brothers amongst your circle. There's going to be brothers in the congregation. There's going to be family members that you're close with. Christ kept to himself. He kept a small circle. He not only kept the 12. Out of the 12, were some of the more trusting men, but even out of the 12, he had an even smaller circle within the 12. And people get offended. You got that? Yeah, 2 Timothy chapter 2. It says, separate yourself. I don't have this written down, but it just came to mind. Gold, silver.
2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor.
Read up a little bit. Verse 20.
Verse 20. But in a great house, there are not only vessels of gold and of silver.
So in a great house, what is the house? This is the great house. In a great house, there's not only vessels of what?
Gold and of silver.
Gold and of silver. Gold and of silver are those trusted brothers and sisters that came into the truth, that went through the trials and tribulations, that went through the personal trials, that went through it, and we see the development, we see the growth, we see how they dealt with correction, we see how they deal with brothers and sisters. Offensive. Do they apply Matthew 18 with one another? Was there a situation that arose that a brother might have offended that brother, or a sister might have offended that sister? Did that sister or brother go and talk about that individual? Did he gossip? Did he murmur? Did he go or did he separate himself because of what he did? Or did that brother, was that a real brother, understand him, the nature of man? That James says, who is it that doesn't offend? Know the nature of man, and who are you that you have never offended before? Have you done wrong? Have you never done wrong to anybody? Yes, you have. I can hear myself. We all have done wrong. I have said some things to people. I said, damn, maybe I should have said that. I offend, so when somebody offend me, I say, you know what? Rather than me gossiping, murmuring, or holding a grudge that can later on nurture or I'll say grow and take root into the spirit of hatred or betrayal, offense and betrayal, let me apply Matthew 18. Read that again.
But in a great house, there are not only vessels of gold.
That vessel of gold is that person tried in the furnace of adversity, had their personal trial, had trials amongst brothers and sisters in the body. How did they deal with that trial? Did they harvest that grudge, that hatred? Did it develop? Did they develop an evil eye for one another? Or did they apply Matthew 18? Did they build upon that friendship? Do they talk with one another? Hey, listen, I don't like what you said to me. I feel that you have something against me. Rather than go to that person individually, right away. I'm not talking about years down the line. Brother, why do you take a year, 2 years to tell me? No, brothers know me. I tell you about yourself right in front of you. I don't hide nothing from you. I'm going to tell you about yourself. Right. I'm going to tell you how to feel. I don't like to hold things inside of me because I know I don't want to develop a spirit of hatred for that brother. I say, yo, you ain't right. I talk about with brothers for a reason, so I know what can happen when you harvest things within you. I could become a Judas. So I'm going to protect myself. So that gold is that individual, the brother or sister that goes to the personal trials, that deals with problems within the body with that brother and sisters, and the application and building that friendship, winning that brother or sister over, winning them over, becoming stronger together, iron sharpeneth iron. Or I'm looking at that gold brother or sister, how do they deal with their spouse? How do they deal with confrontation? How do they deal with argument? How do they deal with when there's trouble in the flesh, where there's low finances? The Lord's going to try you in your marriage. How do you deal with that person? That person that talks with his wife, that tries to come to a resolution, or that wife still loves her husband no matter what, uplifts her husband even in time of trouble, financial trouble, that doesn't make finance separate the two of them. That husband and wife, or that wife that has the spirit of discernment, not to know, I'm not going to start arguing with my husband because I'm not going to try to put a burden further on him. That wife that knows how to deal with her husband or talk to the husband, or the husband that knows how to deal with the wife and talk to the wife. Not abusive to the wife, verbally abusive to the wife. Knows how to deal with her as according to knowledge, knowing that she's the weaker vessel. So you know what? I have to deal with her a certain way. I can't always be pounding her. I can't always be whipping her because I know I could break her. So I say, you know what? I like how he deals with his wife. That brother is gold. He's applying in his household. Or congregational. That brother that's gold within the congregational trials. How he deals with the brothers and sisters collectively. How he counsels brothers and sisters. How he uplifts. How the body reacts to him. How I see the interaction with leaders. Can people go to that individual? Can they talk to that person? Oh, that brother's gold. People see that he's not fake, that he cares. Go on, read it again.
But in a great house, there are not only vessels of gold and of silver.
Gold and silver are those top tier individuals that has been tried and been made manifest, overcame the trial and applied the scriptures to each trial. Go on.
But also of wood and of earth.
And there's also those that are wood and those that are earth. Those are those weaker vessels. The wood could easily be burnt and crushed in earth. Those that haven't gone through the trials, those that refuse to correct themselves or refuse to apply the scriptures. Those brothers and sisters that love sin, that loves hatred, how it feels to hate one another. You know, people get a high off of hatred. You know, some people get high off of causing trouble or adultery. Some brothers say, you know, I can steal that person's man, a woman. Bruh. Some people get a high off of stealing men's wives. Some women get a high off of destroying another individual. Look at that. Yeah, I got them.
Stop it.
Some people feed off of other people's tears. Some people feed off of other people's pain. Some women are looking to see how she deals with her husband so she can come up and clean up. Those are those people that love sin, that loves the feeling of sin, that loves the pleasure of sin. It makes them feel good inside. Go on.
And some to honor, and some to dishonor. If a man therefore...
So there's some within the body to honor and some in the body to dishonor. Read on.
If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor.
If a man purge himself from these individuals, what? The wood. It was the wood and what else?
And the earth.
The wood and the earth. Those to dishonor. He shall be a what?
He shall be a vessel unto honor.
He shall be a vessel unto honor. I forgot why I go there now. Why'd I go there, Officer Shatiel?
into the different types of.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I forgot why. But I was going through the different type of spirits and with the body. So you got to be able to discern these type of brothers and sisters. Gold. You want to be around gold and silver. Not everybody is of Israel. That's Israel. Not everybody that's Israel is of Israel. Some people come in the body just to try you, just to sharpen you. And you've got to use the wisdom of the Bible to be able to discern this. You don't know a person until you filter them through the Bible. Everybody must be filtered through the Bible. Everybody must be gauged through the scriptures. Let's get an example now. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 16. In our journey, in our travels, in my travel, in my journey, I like to speak on my experiences. And in my travels in India, I was able to see things or see the scriptures come to life or see some of the things that our Father spoke about and some things that Paul spoke about, things that happened to Christ, King David, and many of the other prophets, because we're living this life all over again. And the same things that's why we tell you, brothers and sisters, to study so that you're not caught by surprise or shock. You know, okay, this is what happened. What was Paul's conduct? How did he conduct himself? How did Peter deal with this situation? How is he able to discern a false brother or false sister? How were they able to discern who's sincere and who's not sincere? The Bible's a discerner. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 16.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 16. I say again, let no man think me a fool, if otherwise yet as a fool receive me.
Why? Because the Corinthians always was challenging Paul. So Paul says, you know what? Sometimes I got to get down on the level. If they get down and dirty, I get dirtier. You know what I'm talking about. You know the mayor I'm talking about? He said if they get down, they get dirty, I get nasty. You know what mayor I'm talking about? Get the clip. Find the clip. Find that clip. Paul had to get dirty. Paul had to get nasty. Sometimes you got to flex. So some people try to test your gangster. They try to test your accomplishment. They try to think you're old Negro like that. No. Let me tell you something about myself. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to be a fool. I'm going to have to bring myself to your level. You think you're somebody? Let me put my resume on the table for you. Just in case you think you're somebody. You ain't nobody. I'm going to show you. I'm not nobody. I myself know I'm nothing. But you try to boast yourself. You try to elevate yourself. Let me put you in your place, boy. You got that clip? All right, keep reading.
I say again, let no man think me a fool. If otherwise, yet as a fool receive me, that I may boast.
Don't think myself a fool, but otherwise a fool receive me. Read.
That I may boast myself a little.
I'm going to take myself a little bit out. I'm going to bring myself to your level. I'm going to boast myself a little bit. You think you got works? Let me tell you something. Let me bring myself real quick on your level so I can show you my resume and who I really am. I'm going to boast just a little bit. Go on.
That which I speak it not after the Lord.
You know what, Christ? I'm going to have to step out for 1 second outside of spirit. This is not after the Lord. Let me bring myself to their level just for a second. Sometimes you got to become a Negro. Sometimes you got to become like them. And then show them, listen, I can get down too. Go on.
But as it were foolishly, in this confidence of boasting, seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also.
He says, see, you guys, you Corinthians like to glory after the flesh. I will glory also. Paul had to show him, no, you ain't nobody. Listen, I taught you. Let me show you my resume. You haven't been through what I've been through. You haven't seen what I've seen. You have done what I have done. Go on.
For ye suffer fools gladly, seeing ye yourselves are wise. For ye suffer if a man bring you into bondage, if a man devour you, if a man take of you.
So Paul said, you suffer if a man bring you to bondage. Were they brought to bondage? No, they weren't. If the man do what?
If a man devour you.
If a man devour you, go on. Were they devoured? No. So Paul is speaking about things that happened to him that they didn't experience. He said, did you go through this? Go on.
If a man take of you, If a man exalt himself, if a man smite you on the face.
Were you smitten on the face? Go on.
I speak as concerning reproach.
I'm speaking concerning reproach, which you Corinthians haven't been through. Read on.
As though we had been weak. Howbeit, wheresoever any is bold, I speak foolishly.
You speak as if we were weak, but any is what?
Howbeit, wheresoever any is bold.
If any is bold, read.
I speak foolishly.
I'm going to speak foolishly. Read on.
I am bold also.
I am bold also. You think you're bold? I'm going to speak foolishly. I'm bold also. Read on.
Are they Hebrews?
Uh-huh.
So am I.
Are you a Hebrew? So am I. Read on.
Are they Israelites? So am I.
So am I, Israelite. Read on.
Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I.
Come on now.
Are they ministers of Christ?
Read.
I speak as a fool.
I speak as a fool. Read on.
I am more.
I am more. Read.
And labors more abundant.
I am more than you. I labor more abundantly than you. Read on.
And stripes above measure.
Listen, in stripes, I receive stripes above measures than you ever will experience. Read on.
In prisons more frequent.
Have you gone to prisons like I've been to? In prisons more frequently because why? And mostly this happens amongst the younger brothers. Brothers, I said Precepticons. Brothers think that because they think they know more than you, they study, they have less responsibility because why? Your mind is fresh. You came into the truth. You have more time to study. You're studying for applause and not a cause. You're studying for applause and not a cause. You're studying because you want to boast yourself. You want to seem to be like you're somebody. You're studying for vainglory, not because you want to sincerely teach others. You want to sincerely do the work. Paul says, I'm going to speak boastfully. Go on.
In depths oft.
Oftentimes, Paul was in depth. Paul is given a resume of his experience during his truth that every one of us is going to experience as we travel and as we reach further areas into the diaspora. Yeah, there's certain liberties for now. We understand there's going to be a time period where, hey, did you find a clip? Yeah, there's going to be a certain time period where we're going to experience this in America. They're setting up rules and regulations and laws. But as you travel and go throughout the diaspora and to these foreign countries, there is no regulations. There's no laws against putting somebody to death. There's no democracy. I remember when we first went to India, it was crazy. We wanted to go on the streets and teach camp. We said, yo, let's go. Let's go on the streets. Let's rebuke the people. Let's gather the people. They said, no, don't do that. I said, what the hell are you talking about? You scared? He says, they'll kill you. I said, what are you talking about? Bro? He said, listen, it's not fair, but they'll lock you up, to deport you, and some people might actually kill you. How do we know? Because this happened before. They don't play out here in these countries. That's why some of you brothers coming up in the truth, some of you are not ready, and that's why we tell you to wear out the footsteps of the leadership so that you can learn from our experience so that as you grow, if something happens to us, Bishop said something, if something happens to us, if we get locked up, we expect you brothers to continue the mission, to go out to the countries that we're locked up and continue the mission.
That's right.
Just because they take one of us out, don't mean they don't take all of us. Just keep on sending them in. We got a plan. We got a mission that we got to accomplish. If something happens to us, we expect you brothers to pick the torch and carry forth the mission. Don't stop. Keep pushing forward and continue where we left off from. So, we give our experience so that you guys know how to conduct yourself. So you don't go acting a fool. You can't travel with American mentality. It doesn't work everywhere. You have to use wisdom. You have to use the wisdom of the scriptures. You have to use the wisdom of the leadership. Men that have experience, that travel, that gain knowledge through the travels, that are men that are on a trial run. We're the trial run for a lot of things, a lot of the traveling. We're bringing experience. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. Do this, do that. But I want to play this clip real quick. I think this is funny. Go on out.
Personally, I only take financial advice from people that have demonstrated that they can handle their own finances.
You know. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mace. Mr. Chairman, if you let that personal attack go, I'm finna blast her because I don't even know how she handles her finances. I got a high water bill that I can't afford to pay and got property taxes that I'm struggling to pay, but and gon' probably get them paid. However I struggle to do, I'm handling mine and ain't filed bankruptcy in 61 years old. If you can't pick up on a personal attack, you don't need to be the chair. Because that's how she do. And I'm here to tell you, I want to slip a couple through on her, and I want to see if you miss them. Because when they go low, I go nasty.
Personally, I only take.
When they go low, I go nasty. That's what Paul did. Paul said, when they go low, I go nasty. Let me speak as a fool real quick. Let me boast myself. Keep going.
Verse 24. Of the Jews, 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one.
Of the Jews, it's going to come a time. We don't see it right now, but it's going to come a time where they're going to beat us. In some of these foreign countries, they have something called frogging. They will tie you up against a post and they will whoop you for an offense. Of the Jews, I received 5 times how many stripes?
40 stripes.
40 stripes. They're going to beat you for this gospel. And Paul both said, did you get whipped? Did you receive stripes? Were you oftentimes in prison? Were you oftentimes in death? For some of you young brothers that Precepticons that never been through anything, that's now starting to teach on the street because you're teaching powerful, you're teaching mighty, you're coming up. But you're forgetting the leadership, the people that taught you, but you're trying to circumvent them, and you're looking them down because why? You got the spirit of envy in you. You got the spirit of jealousy, preeminence in you, pride, vainglory. Go on.
Thrice was I beaten with rods.
Mm-hmm.
Once was I stoned.
Read.
Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep.
Read.
And journeyings often, and perils of water, and perils of robbers, and perils by my own countrymen.
And perils by my what?
Own countrymen.
Perils by my own countrymen. And notice how I want you to look at something closely. Look at it closely. Paul listed a bunch of incidents that he suffered, that he experienced. What verse were you at? Verse 26.
And journeyings often, and perils of waters, and perils of robbers, and perils by mine own countrymen.
And perils by my own countrymen. Those are my my own brothers. I was in danger. Go on.
And perils by the heathen.
And perils by the other nations. Read.
And perils in the city.
Read.
And perils in the wilderness.
Read.
And perils in the sea. And perils among false brethren.
You notice how it says, in perils of my own countrymen, and perils by false brethren. I experienced that. I couldn't believe my eyes. Brothers that we brought up, brothers that we brought into the faith, now turning back on us, now against us, calling the cops on us. When we went to India, and I'm going to speak through my experience so that, like I said, you could live through our experience, and that you could be careful, and that you could gain wisdom through the things that we've been through. Brothers that we try to build, that we sincerely try to build, we try to bring them to the faith, build them up in wisdom, they have ulterior agendas behind them being amongst us. That's why you have to know a person's needs. What is their wants? Give me that Sirach chapter 39 real quick. That's why the scripture says not to try somebody, whether they be of Christ. Sirach chapter 39, verse, or is it Sirach 38? It's 37? Thank you. Sirach 37, verse 9.
Sirach chapter 37, verse 9. And
says, verse 8.
Verse 8. Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath. For he will counsel for himself, lest he cast a lot upon me.
Now, this is for a counselor, but I'm going to use this for a person. Before you meet a person, before you let them into their circle, your circle, understand, beware of that person. Understand What are their needs? What are their wants? What is their edge? What is their angle? Before you allow that person in the circle, because that person's edge, whatever he has want of, he could use that to bring you down. He could be, I would say, he could be a problem in the future if you don't know what is that person's wants, what is his needs. Go on.
And say unto thee, thy way is good. And afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee.
You see, that person was saying, that way is good. I believe in that Israelite teacher. Yo, you're a great teacher. Yo, I've been watching you. I love how you bring the scriptures out. I love what you're doing for the community. Yo, congratulations to the school that you're building. But on the opposite side, what is he doing? Come on.
To stand, thy way is good. And afterward, he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee.
He said, thy way is good, but secretly behind your back, he's looking to see what's going to happen to you. He's, what is that? He that live with hideth hatred with lying lips. Secretly, he has hatred for you, but he's hiding with lying lips. Thy way is good, but on the outside, he's saying, what shall befall you? How can I destroy him? What is his agenda? Is this person envious of you? You got to pay attention to people's words, their actions. Some people might say something that you say, why would that person say that? You got to file that. Don't just turn a blind eye and accept every person. No. Listen to people's words. Listen to their actions. Look how they conduct themselves. Look how they dealt with other brothers and sisters. Look at their track record. Yeah, we can forgive, but we're not going to forget. Don't forget. We forgive, but never forget. Don't allow a person a gun twice or another bullet to shoot you. Usually when a person show you what they are, that's who they are. That's who they are. A person usually shows who they are from your first approach or your first experience with them. Take that as the person. When that person from within finally comes out, that's who they are. Be wary. Some people you can work with. Some people you got to be mindful of. Go on.
Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee.
And hide thy what?
Counsel from such as envy thee.
Consult not with one that suspected thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. You know when somebody envies you. There's telltale signs. Hide thy counsel. When you go over scriptures, does that person remove himself from you? Think about it. When you go over scriptures, do the eyes move to the left? Do they shut down? When you go into scriptures, are they amongst you? Do they call you? Do they want to be around you when you go into scriptures with them? Or do they go to the younger brothers or the younger sisters? Envy. Why do I say envy? Because they know they're supposed to be with you. But because they see that you have something that they don't have, or something that they're aware of that you have, they become envious. And what happens? They separate themselves from you, and they go to the younger brothers. And they build the younger brothers. Because that attention that you have, they want too. So they say, I'm going to go get it elsewhere. There's telltale signs. Does the sister stay within her lane with the older sisters? Or does she just, or she always counseling outside? She might look at the older ones. I want that power because I don't want that. I can't be around that person because they have what I want. There's telltale signs that you got to be aware of. Is there anything else on that? Oh, yeah, keep going.
Verse 11. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous.
Neither consulting a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. She's always talking about you, murmuring, gossiping. Oh, she thinks she's good. She thinks she's better than me. Look at her hair. Oh, look at her dress. I mean, we have sisters say, oh, look at that sister. That sister, look how she's dressed. She's dressed inappropriate. Everybody's lusting after her. She's evil. Listen, some sisters we tell to cover up their body, but They can't hide it. So sisters start talking about this one sister about, oh, she's dressed like a harlot. Look at how she's dressed. Or everybody's lusting after her. Some people are just jealous.
Bruh.
Sometimes our sisters can't hide it. No matter what you do, they can't hide what they have. So what do? They'll start talking about that person. Go on.
Neither with a coward in matters of war, nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer of selling.
Come on.
Nor with an envious man of thankfulness.
Nor with an envious man of thankfulness. Go on.
Nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness. Nor with the slothful for any work. Nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work. Nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel.
So not only that, but don't put yourself in the same circle with these different individuals that have these attributes and characteristics. The Lord is giving. That's why let wisdom guide you. Let it guide your choices and decisions and your friendship, your circle. Does your circle have these attributes? Do they have these negative attributes? If they do, you got to be mindful of the circle that you hang around, because you could get caught up, or these people could futurely betray you. Go on.
Verse 12. But be continually with a godly man.
Be continually for a person that don't have the attributes in verse 11. Now, I'm not saying that us repenting, we're not going to have these negative attributes. All of us have these bad attributes. But that's why it's called repentance. I'm talking about the individuals that are not sincere, that's not trying, that you see when you bring correction, they take it as hatred. They're offended. They argue, you correct them, but they're always arguing against you. Stay away from people like that argue or tries to counteract your correction. Rather than seeing it for love or iron sharpening iron, seeing that you actually care, you know what? He cares for me. If he didn't care for me, listen, if I'm not getting corrected, if I'm not getting cursed, so I think there's something wrong. If I'm not, when Alicia cursed me out, I'm like, I take that as love. I'm like, man, I said, did anybody curse you out this week? They said, no, damn, something I'm doing wrong. Because I know that I need to grow. I know I'm not where I need to be. So I know I need constant chastisement. So gold is tried in the fire and set the man in the furnace of adversity. So when they're quiet, that means they probably gave up to me, because why? I can't take correction. When you have somebody that's quiet, that's usually outspoken, but they separate themselves from you, it's more than often that they gave up on you, or they separate themselves because you're a danger. You're a problem, and it's red flags. They say, you know what? Let me separate myself from this person, because later on, a man oftentimes offended hardened his neck. And they could be a future Judas. Why you always get on me? Why you always telling me about this? Telling me about myself? Why can't I do anything right? Women too, a lot of time. I do nothing right. You always get on me. A person that can't take correction and sees correction as love is a future Judas, or has the recipe of a future betrayer. Let's read on.
But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
Whom thou what?
Knowest.
How would you know? Because you prove that friend. You look at their life, how they deal with personal trials, marital as well as congregational trials, how they deal with brothers, how they deal with their spouse, how they deal with their children, how they deal and conduct themselves amongst the leadership. When situation arises, how they deal in those different scenarios. Are they approved of God? How they deal with when a heresy came into the body. You have to be circumspect. You have to be able to discern. You got to be aware, watchful. Go on.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
Whom thou what?
Knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
You have to know who's keeping the commandments. You have to try them by the Spirit. Look at their conduct, their actions. Look at how they deal with. Now, everybody's going to give into their sin. Everybody falls at times. But how were they when they fell? How did they take correction? How did they get back up? How did they deal with the leadership afterwards? Did they run? Did they blame the leadership? Did they speak evil against the leadership? Did they walk out and make videos about how evil IUIC is? Or does the woman talk about her husband negatively? Does she always speak evil about how her Lord's not this, how Lord? A woman that complains about a husband is a sister that I don't want close to my circle. If you can't trust a man that provides, if you speak about the man that provides, that's supposed to protect you, that houses you, that you sleep with, I can't trust you. Now, if he's evil, that's different. If he's abusing you, that's different. But there's some sisters that talks about their husband like it's nothing. A husband that talks evil about their wife. So if you talk evil about the person that you sleep with, that you're with every day, what about me? I have no chance against you. A person that's not even with you. Is there anything else on that?
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind.
Whose mind is according to thy mind. You got to be upright. You got to know yourself. And you got to be honest with yourself. You said, you know what? I'm this, and that. When you're honest with yourself, then you can fix it. And then when you know that I was this and that, but I know I fixed it, I know I'm getting better, because you can see when you're developing and growing. You know when you're not really growing or moving forward. Everybody can tell, unless you're not reprobate. And then when you see that you're on a certain level, you won't only want people like yourself. People that wants to grow. People that's constantly pushing to elevate to be the best version of themselves. Now, go to, let's see, go back. Where was I before? Okay, amongst false brethren. So that's what I want to deal with. False brethren and Paul's betrayers were those men of his own country. Those men of his own country. Give me Psalm chapter 41, verse 9.
Psalm chapter 41, verse 9. Yea, mine own familiar friend, in whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread.
My own familiar friend. It's not your enemy. It's those within your own household. It's your spouse. It's your kids. It's your brother that you thought was your brother. Your own familiar friend. Go on.
In whom I trusted.
In whom I what?
Trusted.
In whom you trusted. Some that suspected you, that was jealous over you. You trusted his brother, but it was your own familiar friend that betrayed you. It's going to come within. Go on.
Which did eat of my bread.
That, like 2018. Men that sat at the bishop's table, whom he trusted, that ate his bread, are the same ones that betrayed him and put all his business out there. That's why, if you can't handle me, I don't want you in my circle. If you're emotional, I don't want you in my circle. If you can't take correction, I don't want you in my circle because you're a future danger. And guess what? I'm going to push every single button to see how you react. Because based upon your reaction, it tells you what type of person you are. It tells if I want you near me or not. We want only top G's in our circle. Brothers that we can trust our lives with. Brothers that can take the heat. Go on.
Yea, mine own familiar friend, in whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, have lifted up his heel against me.
Have lifted up his heel against me. Give me the Matrix clip. Had lifted up his heel against me. It's always those that you trust, those that you love. No. Get me Paid in Full. That's why you got to know what is that person's angle. What is their need? What type of spirit do they have? Paid in Full.
All I had left to Mitch was his voice in my head, saying that he was going to meet up with Rico that night.
Ivy, you good? You know I got all my niggas looking for the little nigga now, B. Sonny like my little brother too. Anything you need, let me know.
Good looking, baby, because I need your help, baby. I need you to help me sell these 14 keys so I can get this ransom money for Sonny, man.
You got 14 bricks right there?
Yeah.
Put you up, eh?
Yeah, man, but look, B. Once we get my little brother back, man, we right the fuck back on, baby. We right the fuck back on once I get Sonny. It's gonna be business.
That's it. Read it again.
Yea, mine own familiar friend, in whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, have lifted up his heel against me.
It's just like in Paid in Full. You have Alpo. He went to his brother, said, yo, I need help. Even though it's wicked as hell. But I'm just using this as a teaching example, how he went to his brother to help get his younger brother, his loved one back because of a ransom. They kidnapped him, and they said, yo, in order for you, and it was a family member. It was a family member that kidnapped the brother, his uncle, that is always those from within. That's why those closest to you are the ones that will betray you. That's why you got to keep certain people at a distance. If they're not about this Bible, if they don't move a certain way, I don't want you around me. If you don't move like me, if you don't move like the bishop and the deacons and them, I don't want you around me. Because that's a fake brother or fake sister moves a certain way. They don't move with the fear of the Lord. You can tell if a person's a lively spirit. You can tell when the Spirit of God is in the individual. You can see it. You want to roll with people like that got a Spirit of God in them, that loves this truth. People that have been through things and has overcome it and that loves God. It's always those that are familiar. And his uncle's the one that set him up and kidnapped his brother.
That's a setup, bro.
And then on top of being betrayed by his uncle, I think his uncle cut off the brother's finger, right? His own uncle cut it off his finger. And on top of that, what makes it worse is he went to his friend, his boy. It's like 3 of them. He thought he could trust. And the brothers poured out his heart to him, said, yo, I want to get my brother back because of covetous, because of lust, because of envy. What did he do? He betrayed his friend and not only killed him, but got the brother killed. It's always those within your circle. Covetous, envious. It's a recipe for Cain or Judas. Read on. Read it again.
Yea, mine own familiar friend, in whom I trusted,
read,
which did eat of my bread,
read,
have lifted up his heel against me.
Have lifted up this heel against me. Get Psalms 109, verse 2.
Psalm chapter 109, verse 2. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They compassed me about also with words of hatred and fought against me without a cause. For my love, they are my adversaries.
For my what?
Love, they are my adversaries.
Read verse 2 again.
For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me.
Let me tell you about my experience when we went to India. Brothers that we were trying to raise up had an ulterior agenda. We sincerely were trying to build brothers and sisters up in a foreign country, people that was looking for identity, truly lost. And based upon prophecies, we go to the places that people would never go. We hazard ourselves and endanger our lives to reach the lost. Think about it. We think that the problem, we look at just America as bigger than America. Our people are not only suffering in America, but our people are suffering globally, and we took it upon ourselves to go search out where our people are, because the Lord showed us, if there any one of thine be driven to the uttermost parts of the heavens or the earth, thence will I fetch thee. So we believe that, and we understand that, and we follow that, and we search out those individuals that were scattered through the uttermost parts of the earth, and we find them. We research them, and we come to them. And we do it sincerely. We do it out of love, because we do it because we don't have anything. We're not going to exploit them. What do we have? What do we want that they possibly have that we need? There's nothing. Everything we do, we pour it out onto our people. We give them everything. You think we want to travel to India? I hate India. I'll say it again. I despise that country. You think I want to go there? I never in my life that I want to go in a country with all our pools. How do you think I want to sing? No, that's Arabian Nights. I know, people might say I'm a racist. I'm not a racist. Not too far? Okay. You think you think I don't watch the YouTube clips? You think I don't watch the TikTok? You think my stomach don't bubble? You think I don't put my rights on risk? I shake every time I see the food. And I have tears because I don't know what I'm eating.
Stop it.
And what makes it worse
Get
is
some
my
help.
brothers send me clips. They're like, they send me clips of the filth of people put in a hand. Hey, Cap, did you eat this? I'm like this. I'm like this. Brother, you know I have to go out there. You know we were sent out there, but you making it worse. He said, Cap, how your stomach feeling? He said, Cap, how's the food? I said, brother, you ain't right. I said, I pray the Lord sends you next on the mission so you can feel what I'm feeling. But, oh, this brother right here. Let me tell you about that poor country. Somebody asked, yo, what do you think? You think I should travel? I said, absolutely not. I said, don't you ever travel to that country. I said, I don't care the gold of affairs there. Don't go to that country. That is the most vile, disgusting, filthiest, raunchiest country I ever set my foot. My nose was sore. 1 week felt like a year. It was the most traumatizing experience. I'm telling you, it's not a place that I would ever go for vacation. The people nasty, the filthy, there's garbage everywhere. It makes Philadelphia look like a damn resort area. It makes Haiti look like Jerusalem. I mean, every day, chapati. Every day I ate the same meal. Well, what's today? Chapati. All right, what's tomorrow? Chapati. Curry chicken, curry this, curry that, curry soup, curry chicken, curry fish, curry cereal. I can't take it anymore. But I had to rant. Excuse me. If I'm gonna rant a little bit, just bear with me. So now you thinking that brother ain't right points to Naruto. Don't ask me why I know that. Yeah, don't ask me why I know that scene when Jiraiya died. But you think that what do I have to gain? Look at that. You brothers ain't right, man. Bro, I became sick out there too. I don't know what. Listen, I don't want to talk about it. I just pray the Lord be with me. But we came to a country that I would never go to. I would never set my foot on. It's disgusting. It's filthy. I hate the food. I don't like Indian food at all. At all. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the aesthetics of it. I don't like the presentation. So, we went all the way over there to build brothers and sisters up, only for our love to be turned unto hatred. Read that again from verse 2.
For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me.
The mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. And not only me, but the brother that's assisting us. Brothers that he grew up with. Brothers that he worked with. Now they're speaking against us. They lied to us. They lied about us. They called the brothers that was amongst our circle that we were teaching. But when he found out, when it came to power, who's going to be set over what, they turned their back against us. They called the cops on us. They called the authority on us, saying that we're exploiting the people, that we were robbing people in the community, that we had a Facebook scam going on to take the young kids' money from them. Bruh. And that we was going through all I'm telling you, the police report, brothers that came from us. And we found who it was. We found out who it was. It was the brothers that learned amongst us. Brothers that I took the time to talk to every day. Brothers that I called personally, counseled their marriage, talked to their wife to bring them into faith. Brothers that I counseled, I try to build up and guide them. And brothers that we argue amongst each other, I try to be the mediator. But brothers took my love for hatred, and what did they do? They report us to the authorities. Oh, the first time they tried to jump me. Yeah, I didn't tell you that. They came to the school. I thought they wanted to resolve it, but no, they told me, they'll say, yo, Cap, don't come downstairs. I said, for what? They said, they're plotting against you. I said, for what? What'd I do? I said, I was teaching the Bible. They said, because you kicked them out the group. I said, they didn't want to be a part of it. They showed the true colors. They showed the true nature. They didn't want to be a part of it. They didn't want to learn the Bible anymore from us. So I removed them from the group. So they got offended when I removed them. They thought that they was going to make money off of this. So they had an ulterior agenda, and they tried to jump me. They say, yo, Cap, don't come downstairs. They're plotting against to jump you. I said, yo, I look at D. I said, yo, we could take them. They try to jump me.
This is war!
I said, I could take maybe 3 or 4. I said, after that, I might get tired. They might stop me out after a while, but I'm not going out to fight. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Listen, I used to fight. I could war. I used to fight. So I said, I could take a few of them. I said, why would I hide up here? I said, no, I'm going down there. I ain't scared. So they talked to whatever. That was the last trip. This trip, they came. I get a text. I heard you're in India. Everything you do in the community, we're going to find out. Nothing that happens here, nothing that happens in this country I'm not going to know about that you do in the community. I said, wait a minute, I thought we reconciled. I thought we talked. We had a lovely conversation. Now he's threatening me. I mean, he said, hey, great works with opening a new school. Excellent job. Deceit in a tongue. Oh, I love the work that he was doing. Hey, I said, I love you, brother. My blood is clean. I said, brother, all praise to the Most High. I said, yo, come join us. Yo, build with us. Let's help change the mind of our people. Let's elevate our people. I love my people. And we had a good conversation. The next time Cain, he texted me and said, I know when you're coming. And then after Passover, they called the cops on us the next day. And we had to be escorted to the authorities. And he texts, if you don't go to the cops, he says, it's not going to be good for you. And he put a complaint in line and saying we was exploiting the people. That we was stealing from the people, and then we was going around, the same people that learned amongst us saying we was going around the villages tearing up white man Jesus, which we were. So which was not a lie. I just couldn't tell the Indian guy that. Yeah, tearing up white man Jesus. Yeah, we were. You're burning it. It was telling the people not to worship the gods. Yeah, we were doing that. So, and what you going to do? But read that again.
For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me.
The mouth of the wicked and deceitful. Deceitful because I thought that they were for the people. I thought that they wanted to build with us. Deceitful, read.
Are opened against me.
Are open against us. They wanted to jump me for what? For showing them the love? For teaching them who they are? For giving them solutions? For showing them the future? To showing them that we're a great people? But they opened their mouth against me. Go on.
They have spoken against me with a lying tongue.
They've spoken against us with a lying tongue, saying that we're going through the city community, causing confusion and dividing the people. That we're exploiting and robbing the youth and taking money for the people. They have done what?
They have spoken against me with a lying tongue.
They've spoken against me with a lying tongue. Read.
They compass me about also with words of hatred.
They compass us about with words of hatred. I want to jump you. Oh, if you don't go to the cops, we're going to lock you up. If you know for your own good. Go on.
And fought against me.
And fought against us, read.
Without a cause.
Without a cause. What is the purpose? And not only me, but the brother that they know. They called the cops on him and told him, if you know what's for your own good, and spread rumors about that brother. Bruh. A brother that they sat at the same table as him. Brother that he employed, gave work to. Brothers that he took in and took care of them. Now they're all speaking against him. Wanted me to kick him out the congregation. For what? Because of preeminence, envy, jealousy, hatred. You never know a person until you have an advantage over them. You will never know a person. But when you guys are on the bottom, everything's good. But as soon as the Lord elevates you, you find out who your true friends are and who truly loves you. Is that person going to support you? Are they going to be like the 400 men that ran into the wilderness with King David when they didn't have to run into what? Those men that became King David's mighty men? Those men that when David was going through his hardship and trials, what happened? They left everything and dropped everything and followed after David. Go on.
For my love, they are my adversaries.
For our love, we're the enemies. What are we doing? Even brothers in 2018, what do we do against them that is so evil that you got to go to the news network, that you got to call the authorities on us, that you got to spread rumors and lies or try to bring us and destroy us? If you destroy us, then what? Who's going to help the people? If you destroy, think about it. They're destroying crabs in a barrel. They're destroying their own salvation. If we don't do it, are you going to do it? Are you going to pick up the mantle and teach the people? Can you do a better job than us? Can you be a better person than us? If you can't, all praise to the Most High. But why destroy something that's for your benefit? For our love, our love. You think that we just woke up and we want to put our lives on the line? We want to get shot on the street? We want to get water bottles thrown at us?
Bruh.
We don't tell you half the things that we went through in Philadelphia. When we had knives put on us. When we had guns put on us. They threw bottles at us. They put waters at us. That they did drive-bys on us. That they shot us up with paintball guns. And we thought it was guns. Got all praise to the Most High, we found it was a paintball gun. And it wasn't a gun. That they plotted on us the week before we left the camp spot to shoot us up. Or we got into physical altercations. We don't talk about those things. For our love, we hazard our lives. We put our lives on the line. We put ourselves in danger. We go to countries that we never heard of, that we've never been to. And we teach the word, and we teach something that we know could get us killed. That we know is called treason. It's treason. We're teaching that there's a king that's going to rule.
That's
you don't
right.
think, what do you think is going to happen to us eventually? We go to these foreign countries. One day, we're not going to come back. For our love, we do what?
For my love, they are my adversaries.
For our love, we're their adversaries. Go on.
But I give myself unto prayer.
But only thing we could do is give ourselves to prayer. And we're going to talk about it. No, we're not going to hide. We're going to talk about all you wicked Negroes out there and all the evil that you're trying to do. And you brothers and sisters, take heed and learn from the lessons. Go on.
And they have rewarded me evil for good.
They will reward us evil for good, but we understand they got to play their part. Somebody got to play the wicked. And you ask yourself, why would they do it? Why not? They have to do it. Somebody has to be the adversary. Somebody has to make this book real. Like you said, Officer Shotgun said, better than me. Somebody got to play the adversary. Somebody has to play the protagonist and the antagonist. Somebody has to play those roles. Everybody was cast into a role. We're all characters within God's screenplay. Everybody has a role to play. The question is, what role, what character, what actor are you in God's screenplay? Everybody, the word was already written, but what role are you going to play? So I understand, and I'm not mad. I embrace it. I welcome it. I joy in it. I praise it. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
Right.
Why? Because it's a blessing to me. I know I'm doing something right. What did Cat Williams say? If you don't have enough haters, then you got to get yourself some more haters next year.
That's right.
If you don't have haters, you ain't doing something right. When they put my face on the screen, when I saw, and guess what? They put to all the police departments my face and Deacon Isaac's face for wanted. If we didn't go, and they would follow, they said they was going to follow us, and they was following us, and a second time they sent in a complaint, a second time on a Sabbath day, they told us to come in, and they had to put us in a system. So 2 times we had to go to the police station. 2 times, and for what? What did we do? For teaching our people that they're great people, that they're holy people, that they're special people, that they're above all people, to teaching them that Christ is not white, that he's a black man. For our love, they take it as hatred. Go on.
And they have rewarded me evil for good.
They will reward us evil for good. Go on now.
And hatred for my love.
And hatred for our love. Read on.
Set thou a wicked man over him.
And that's what we say. Set thou a wicked person over that individual. Go on.
And let Satan stand at his right hand.
And let Satan stand at his right hand. Read.
When he shall be judged, let him be condemned. And let his prayer become sin.
That's what King David said. That's what King David said. Give me the next clip. I know it's 11:30. I got a lot more scriptures, actually. I might to make this a part 3. I got a lot more scriptures to go through. Yep, Manuel Travel Series. Let's play the last clip, and we're going to end it there. And this is to prepare you, and this is to prepare you for the present as well as the future. The things written aforetime was written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. So you know what to expect in the future. And don't be shocked when any amazement, like, why is this happening to me? No, don't say, why is it happening to me? Look for it to happen to you and embrace it and rejoice that you was counted worthy for it to happen. And now apply the scriptures. That's when you double down. And those moments, when you're going through it, that's when you cleave closer to the Lord, and that's when you go dive deeper into the scriptures. No, get the other one. Get the other one. Get the other one first. Yep, the first one.
Do we?
Mm-hmm. The sit down, the initial sit down meeting. Yep.
Do we have a deal, Mr. Reagan?
You know, I know this steak doesn't exist. I know that when I put it in my mouth, the Matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious. After 9 years, you know what I realize? Ignorance is bliss.
Then we have a deal.
I don't want to remember nothing. Nothing. You understand? And I want to be rich. You know, someone important. Like an actor.
Whatever you want, Mr. Reagan.
Okay. You get my body back in a power plant. Reinsert me into the Matrix. I'll get you what you want.
Access codes to the Zion mainframe.
No, I told you I don't know them. I can get you the man who does.
Morpheus.
Give me the next clip. Betrayal. One of your own. It always comes from within. A Judas. And this is not to say, not to have any friends amongst your circle. I'm not saying that. Not to look at everybody with suspicious. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to be circumspect. And to look at some of the telltale signs. Your true friends will be known in adversity when you go through things. A true friend can take correction. A true friend, you can build together. You can get on each other, laugh. You're not going to try to backstab each other. A true friend will be manifested. And we're going to go over those scriptures to show what a true friend is too. And how to spot one out. Go on.
You first, Neo.
Shit!
I don't know, it just went dead.
Hello, Trinity.
Cypher, where's Tank?
You know, for a long time, thought I was in love with you. I used to dream about you. You're a beautiful woman, Trinity. Too bad things had to turn out this way.
You killed them.
What?
Oh, God.
I'm tired, Trinity. I'm tired of this war. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of this ship being cold, of eating the same goddamn goop every day. But most of all, I'm tired of that jagoff and all of his bullshit. Surprise, asshole. I bet you never saw this coming. Did you? God, I wish I could be there. When they break you, I wish I could walk in just when it happens. So right then, you'd know it was me.
You gave them Morpheus.
He lied to us, Trinity. He tricked us. If you would have told us the truth, we would have told you to shove that red pill right up your ass.
That is not true, Cypher. He set us free.
Free. You call this free? All I do is what he tells me to do. If I gotta choose between that and the Matrix, I choose the Matrix.
The Matrix isn't real.
I disagree, Trinity. I think the Matrix can be more real than this world. All I do is pull a plug here. But there, you have to watch APOC die.
They did? Damn. So we probably gotta remove it from the class then, right? Before we upload it. Alright, edit it out real quick.